Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be creating a low poly isometric tiny house in Blender. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is create the ground. So press Shift and A and add a plane. Press S to scale and scale it up. And then go into material properties, add a new material, set the base color to dark green and set the roughness to 1. Okay, and then go into particle properties, add a new particle, set it to hair and set the number of particles to 30,000. And also set the hair length to 0.7. Okay, so now let's create the tiny house. So press Shift and A and add a cube and then press S to scale it up. Then G and Z to bring it up, and then go into edit mode, select the top face of the cube and E to extrude it a little bit, and then S to scale it up and E to extrude again. Then select these side faces here and Alt E extrude faces along normals. Then select these faces here and then press E to extrude them upwards. Okay, so now let's create the door. So press Shift and A and add a cube. And I'm just going to move it here so I can see it. Okay, and then press S to scale it down on the Y axis. Okay, and then go back into edit mode. Select the top face here and press G and Z to move it up. And then select these two faces and press Alt E, extrude faces along normals. And then select one of the corner faces here and press E to extrude, and then select this here and E to extrude. Now select these faces over here and press E to extrude them, and then add another cube while in edit mode. Move it here, scale it down, and place it on the door like a doorknob. So now let's move the door back. So go back into object mode, select the door, and press G and Y to move it back. Okay, so now let's model the windows. So press Shift and A, add a cube, move it here, and press S and Y to scale it down on the Y axis. Then scale it up. Okay, and go into edit mode, go into face select, and select these 4 side faces, and press Alt E, extrude faces along normals. Okay, and then select these faces here, and E to extrude them. Okay, so now let's create some loop cuts. So press Ctrl and R, and then scroll up your middle mouse button to create 6 loop cuts. Okay, and then create more loop cuts, but only horizontal. So create 6 more loop cuts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then go into face select. Select this face here and E to extrude it down. And then select this face here and press E to extrude it to the right. Okay, so now let's place our window on the wall. So let's go back into object mode. And then press R and Z and rotate it by -90 degrees. And then press G and X, G and Y, and then position it on the wall of your tiny house. Okay, and then press Shift and D to duplicate it, and press R Z 90 to rotate it, and then scale it down and place it on top of the door here, like this. Okay, so now let's go into a material preview and start adding materials to our scene. So press Z and go into material preview. And as you can see, we've already added materials to the ground. So the only thing left is to add materials to the tiny house. Okay, so first let's add materials to our structure. So select the structure here and go into material properties and add a new material. And change the base color to cyan. Okay, and then go into edit mode and select all the faces of the roof of the house. Okay, as you can see, I've selected all of the faces of the roof of the house. So let's add a new material and click on assign to assign it to the roof and change the base color to black. Okay, so now let's add materials to the windows. So let's go back into object mode, select one of the windows, and go back into edit mode, add a new material, make it black, then add another material, and change the surface. So click on this green circle and click on emission, and change the color to yellow, and set the strength to 5. Okay, and then select all these window faces here. Okay, and then click on assign. And as you can see, we've made the windows bright. So let's do the same for the other window. So add a new material, make it black. Then add another material, change the surface to emission, set the color to yellow, and set the strength to 5. And then select these faces over here and click on assign. Okay, and now let's add materials to the doors. So click on the door, go into edit mode. First, let's add a new material and make it black, and then add another material and select the doorknob, faces of the doorknob, and assign the new material to it and change the color to cyan. Okay, so all that's left to do now is to render the scene. So add a camera. So I already got a camera. And then press Ctrl Alt and 0 to teleport the camera to your location. And then press Shift and the button next to number 1 on your keyboard to adjust the camera. And I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so now let's change the color of the sky. So click on the world properties and change the color to light blue. And also, before we render the scene, let's go into render properties and change the render engine to cycles and set the device to GPU compute and apply adaptive sampling. And then let's go to the top left corner of the screen, click on render and render image. So this is the end result. I think it looks pretty good. So if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe. And see you next time.